So I have played 5 hours. Where's my Steam? So I've played 5 hours of Ultra Strikers. And I wanted to do a newbie, just brand new to the game, initial tier list before I got started tonight. As I know a couple of people I played games with, they're downloading it. So let's talk about it first. All right, so we're just going to go down the line here of things I have unlocked, and I've actually seen a bunch of Viper play. I'm almost unlocked the Viper, but I've seen a bunch of the play in streams and stuff. So, talking about Phoenix. Phoenix is one of the 4 starter characters. You start with Phoenix, Falcon, Fury, and Kraken. Phoenix is a light striker. He moves really fast. He has an SMG that's really easy to hit. He has a napalm ability, the fire grenade. It's actually really useful for, keeping himself alive too, as it does give him a bit of health back when he does it. But in all actuality, like, he's so easy to shoot with, and shooter mechanics are, something that a lot of people have. He is I don't think he's difficulty medium. I think he's like super easy. If you play shooters, he is super duper easy, and he just gets a lot of freaking value, even in the higher games. So I'm definitely gonna drop him into S tier. Looking at the next one, Hornet. You can 3-tap people with the pistol as long as you hit consecutive shots. As you see, Deadeye landing extra shots in succession does more damage. You can 3-tap people easy. Additionally, the plasma orb, it's a little harder to hit, but it does a buttload of damage as well. His movement ability isn't as good as Phoenix. I didn't mention that. Phoenix has just a normal dash. You can actually fly and move around with Hornet, so you can actually catch cover a lot easier than with the dash. So it is helpful in that way. It's not as fast. But simply put, the pistol is a god. If you can click heads, you can dominate with Hornet just by 3-tapping people. So Hornet, for me, in 5 hours of gameplay, also goes to S tier. So looking at Fox to me is kind of like, in gameplay sense, is a mixture of Hornet and Phoenix, except it's harder to get that shoot value because you have to hit all 3 knives. It's kind of like playing Genji, where you're just throwing the primary fire and throwing the 3 shurikens forward. You have to hit all 3 in order to do a decent amount of damage. Beyond that, the smoke bomb is actually a really good offensive tool. Like, you can throw it at their goal and they can't see a shot incoming. Like, it's better than throwing Phoenix's napalm at the goal and trying to get him to move out. You just throw it at the front of the goal and boom, it's really hard for them to see a shot incoming. They'll miss their block, they won't see where it's coming from, things like that. So even though she has that capability, I think in team play, like organized team play, should be probably an A tier. But for me, simply because it's so hard to hit the knives, and you're not going to get people, comboing up for smoke bombs a lot, and the fact that her passive specifically has to do with hitting all 3 of those, so it's really hard to get her passive to work, I'm actually going to end up putting her in B tier. I think she could be better, and like I said, in organized play with that smoke bomb, probably a lot better. It's probably a pretty good combo. The stealth is okay. The speed's great from the stealth, but yeah, it's so hard to get damage out of, and a lot of what I've seen kind of in 3 stacks playing on streams has been you're literally focusing down one person at a time, getting it down to one person, and then comboing on them. So yeah, I'm gonna put Fox in B just because. All right, another starter hero, Falcon. So Falcon, in all of the medium strikers, I really don't feel like there's too many breakpoints that they that the extra 250 health really matters in. Like, even with Hornet's pistol, like, if you hit that 3rd shot and any of them is a headshot, a medium's still dead in 3 shots. Like, it doesn't change anything from light to medium off of that burst damage, right? So I actually think all of the mediums are kind of subpar when it comes to their health, because that movement speed is a lot less than the lights, and I'll take that movement speed and being able to juke out and maybe then miss a shot, as opposed to the 250 health I don't really think does a break point. So Falcon is your rocket launcher hero, has a jump pack to go up in the air, and has a overshield that absorbs damage. Okay, cool. Direct rockets deal bonus damage, yeah, like pretty much any other game. The problem I see with Falcon is the rockets are really slow. Yeah, it's a straight line, so it's really easy to be disruptive on the ball. And he is unlocked initially, so if you're looking for more of that disruption playstyle, maybe you play Falcon for a while. But all in all, I feel like he is an objectively worse version than Werven, who we're going to get to in a minute. So, in all honesty, I would actually put Falcon... Where is he? There he is. I'd put him in... Yeah. He's between B and C for me, because objectively he's just worse than Werven, in my opinion. He's just a worse Werven. But in all honesty, I think Werven is going to be higher than B. I think he's going to be an A. Let's put him in C for now. Let's put him in C. All right, Fury. The AR is nice. The impact grenade is nice for, if you're chasing down somebody when you have an open goal. That shouldn't really be happening. And the phase walk is... It's a worse stealth, right? It's a worse stealth, in my opinion, that Fox has. That being said, if you can rail down people with the assault rifle, it's nice. But in all honesty, the SMG Phoenix has just as good. So why do you want 250 health that isn't going to give you any real breakpoint changes? A worse utility, a less useful utility ability, and a movement that's not as good as other movements. So I know this might be a hot take for some people, but the AR character in this game is my D tier. I played a bit of him. I did not like him compared to Phoenix and Hornet and Fox. I just think you should go with a light striker rather than playing Fury. That's just my opinion. All right, so on to our last medium striker that's available, Werven. Like I said, I believe Falcon is a worse version of Werven, or Wyvern, or however you want to say it. The fact that the grenade launcher gets 3 rounds per mag as opposed to the 2 rounds that two rockets Falcon has. You can still boop the ball considerably, pretty easily. The drop off from the grenades isn't that much different than shooting the rockets. The main thing comes down to the suspension grenade and the teleport. Both are extremely good for scoring, in my opinion. Having played other handball games like this, a teleport where you can literally just teleport, they pass the ball, you put it in. That's amazing. That's amazing. He has probably the longest movement ability in the game with this, except for Viper. Maybe Viper probably tied with him. But you can throw this really freaking far, the teleport grenade, and you can cover large distances of ground with it. Then the suspension grenade suspends a target in the air for a brief while. You can actually hit whoever the goaltender is with this, and if your other player or your other forward is good with their aim, they can score pretty much every time. So in all actuality, even though I don't like medium strikers, I actually will put this character in the A tier simply because both of his abilities are scoring abilities. And in team play, he is going to be able to lock out the ball, just push it around if he needs to. So let's say you lose one of your players, one person can be in goal, and he can just be bopping the ball around without ever really having to try and go for it and wait for that respawn. His suspension grenade, great for scoring. His teleport grenade, great for scoring. Just like, the other medium strikers, damage on direct hit does extra. All right, now into our heavies. So Kraken, this is your 4th starter hero. I would say that Kraken should be every goalie's choice all the way up until you unlock Viper. So he actually, for me, is going to probably end up in the B tier simply because of that. Simply because if you're playing goalie, you're going to be using him. And you're going to be using him until you get the direct upgrade, which is Viper. Granted, you can actually do a buttload of damage with Kraken. His leap, if for some reason you rotate and somebody else takes the goal and you move forward, that can be an instant score right there with stun locking the opponents, right? You just roll in, jump on them, stun them, your teammate scores. That's pretty much it for Kraken. Like he's B tier simply because you're going to use him. You're going to use him. And maybe in team play, people go for an explosion-based comp to, they go with a medium striker, either Falcon or Wyvern, a light striker, Phoenix or Hornet, and then bring Kraken simply to just kind of do more splash damage, right? All right, so moving on, we're going to do Rhino first, simply because Rhino, in all honesty, I don't like him. Yeah, the minigun can do a bit of damage at any long range, which as the goalie, if you're playing him as the goalie, you're going to go to midfield, and that's about it. And the spread on his gun does not help once you get past kind of medium ranges. So beyond that, his Gladiator rocket, it's essentially Hornet's ability. Hornet's plasma orb ability, except it does 3 bursts instead of 1. Lightning dash is cool to get back to goal if you need it, but in all honesty, it's more of an offensive ability on a heavy, which typically you'd be using for defense. He's nice, but I'm gonna end up putting him in C tier. All right, for the last character on the list, the level 25 character, I've watched gameplay of people who were good at this character. I watched gameplay of people who were not good at aiming, and you know what, Viper still very much is an S tier character. The Venom Blaster does like 900 damage to a body. Yeah, that's two-shotting every light in every medium in the game. He two-shots all of them to the body. So you can literally just be sitting back, and it travels fast too. So you can just be sitting back, just leading your target a little bit, like, you're playing Battlefield or something, and just pick people off like crazy. I would expect his gun to get nerfed a bit, but yeah, we'll see. Beyond that, his Toxic Burst, kind of a nice molly, and his Relocate, like I said with Rhino, the charge, it's more of an offensive tool, but it's really nice to get back. Kraken, the leap isn't really good at moving around, so it's not good to get back. So the fact that you can do a teleport with this character automatically puts him up in S tier for me. So reorganizing this a bit, for somebody who's good at shooting, I'm actually going to put the S tier there. A tier, I don't have to move around. I'm going to leave B tier as it is, simply because... Actually, no. I'm going to move the B tier like that, simply because you are going to be using Kraken for so long. I'm going to leave these two the way they are. Yeah, that's my tier list in order on the tiers as well. I actually think that Viper is probably the best character in the game, followed by the first 2 strikers. I mean, you unlock Hornet at level 5, so he's basically a starter hero. And yeah, that's how I see it after 5 hours of gameplay. My opinions, my thoughts.